Hello everyone, it's Lawrence from Unicorn Reviews here with a new camera. So I went out, spent some money on getting you guys better image quality and hopefully better sound quality as well. Today we're going to be looking at the Gigabyte F2A88XN-Wifi FM2 Plus motherboard. So it's going to work with the new Gigabyte chips, which everyone is seriously excited about. But I'm actually going to review a 6800 later on, because it's way cheaper. You know, 6800 is like 110 euros and the new ones are 150. So that's all about later. On the front of the box you can see that it's, you can see that it's an AMD A series A88X chipset, supports Eyefinity and everything. You've got AC wireless on there, of course also Bluetooth 4.0, really fast wireless because it's AC obviously. I got UEFI dual BIOS, so it's ultra safe, cool, and it's also ultra cool and ultra performance. You know, sounds a bit like, you know, the dog, like such cool, such performance, much wow. Anyway, nothing on this side. Some English about the features. I'm actually walking in my own light, so hopefully you guys can see that. On the back of the wobbly box, product picture along with a bunch of other stuff. So, you know, if you want to read this, just pause it and read it, but it just says what a board has. Of course the rear I/O layout, but we're going to go into that later on. And then the bottom is also quite simple. How does this box open anyway? It's a flippy open box, and you actually get the motherboard right away, which is great. Of course, a proper unboxing style. The viewer doesn't actually get to see the actual product until the very last moment. We got a black I/O plate, which I love because every case is, more or less every case is black, and like a shiny grey I/O plate just looks quite silly. We get two SATA 6 cables, or SATA 6 Gigabit, SATA 3 cables, and of course our Wi-Fi and Bluetooth antenna. We then also have something in French apparently. So yeah, how you work the BIOS, whatever. An instruction booklet, user's manual, comes with CDs and such. Two CDs this time. One for drivers and one for the wireless. Awesome. What else do we get? A multilingual installation guidebook. That's pretty much it. So let's do the board itself. The incredibly tiny board. I mean, obviously this is Unicorn Reviews, and I almost exclusively do ITX stuff lately, even though we are having some rather awesome 290 Crossfire goodness coming up. Anyway, here's the board. I'm gonna show you guys from this side. The back I/O. Got two USB 2s, a mouse and keyboard combo PS2. We get two HDMIs. So two HDMIs. It's not actually DisplayPort and HDMI. Nope, that's two HDMI. And your DVI port. So this is, no, who cares about VGA anyway? Two ports to connect your antenna to, but the antenna is only one port, I think. Nope, the antenna is actually two ports, so one will be Bluetooth, one will be Wi-Fi. I got two USB 3 ports, Gigabit Ethernet, more USB 2 ports, this was 3, I think I said 2, and then of course 7.1 plus optical sound. The top of the board on the incredibly crappy tripod. Let's see if that actually works. You can see the layout. Of course the socket is somewhat off-centered because it's quite hard to get it centered unless you go like Asus and you just cheat and add little boards to the board. got your two memory slots here, so support for up to 16 gigabytes of memory. ECC of course not supported on this board. Actually it might just be because this is AMD, I don't know. I'll maybe, if I don't forget to talk about it, go on about that later. We got a SATA, PCI slot here, so 16 times PCI, it actually says that right there on the bottom. I haven't got a proper macro lens on here though, so can't really get up close. Of course, all your connections. USB 3.0, 4 SATA ports, they're all SATA 3. A fan header. Have we actually got more than one fan header? Yes, this is a fan header. So those are two PWM fan headers, great. What else have we got? Of course, the little mini PCI with the Gigabyte. The Gigabit AC, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on there. And then your 24-pin connector. This is right here is your socket. FM2 plus place to put the chip in. The back of the board, nothing to talk about really. So let's now move on to the BIOS. Alright guys, a overview of the BIOS on the F2A88 something motherboard. So on the basic first thing that shows up is just your MIT current status and some advanced frequency settings for your overclocking. And you can see what BIOS version you're running, some clock speeds, the amount of memory you have, rather high CPU temperature, I don't know why. Then in system information you can just again see basic information. BIOS features, you can set your boot options, you can choose to stock boot Windows 8, so it optimizes the BIOS and the postings to boot into Windows 8 as quickly as possible. Sadly there are no other options than Windows 8, so it's just other operating system or Windows 8. You can choose your peripherals, how you want your graphics to be configured, you know, integrated or a dedicated graphics option, and just a bunch of stuff really. You can choose to boot it up whenever you want to, which you can with every single PC since the invention of PCs, and then a boot override. You can use a mouse in this BIOS. I never use it, I don't see the point of it, it's easier with the arrows. Anyway, in the overclocking section, actually this is cooler. This just gives you a complete overview of all the information you could possibly need about your system. Then of course you can play with the frequencies, set some advanced features, you know, choose everything yourself really if you want to. Sadly I cannot overclock with this one. I mean, I can overclock, I'm just not allowed to, because it's, you know, customer build, so when they say don't overclock it, I kind of have to listen, so terribly sorry about that. But you can see that there is just a bunch of options, well, a bunch of options. Actually there's two options, yeah, there are no options. And then there's more information. Don't worry about the temperatures, I just set everything to silent. You can also set it to manual, where you just say, you know, how much you want it to make noise at which moment really. But there are some wrong readings I guess at the moment, because surely it's not 74 degrees hot. And I actually can confirm that using a hardware monitor, that it's not at all hot, so even with the stock little cooler we have on here. Anyway, that was it for the BIOS. I'm now going to do a conclusion and give it an award. Alright guys, so let's do a conclusion on the Gigabyte F2A88XN-Wifi and Bluetooth. First up, the awards. A straight up gold award. This board is dirt cheap, it's like 90 euros or something. If you mix that up with a 150 euro Kaveri APU, you just have a really good gaming system with RAM for 350 euros. And you can just use some old, I don't know what hard drive thingy you have laying around, and you'll have a really cool thing. So Just go out, buy this thing. It has a bunch of good features. It actually has all the features you need, really. A bunch of connectivity, wireless and wired. It's pretty fast, the Wi-Fi on this thing. And you know, it's just a bunch of positives. I don't really have anything bad to say about it, which is a first, I think. Yeah, I can't let that happen. Oh yeah, it only has two fan thingies. So if you have a case and a CPU fan, and your case has more than one fan, you're going to have to find some other way to hook up the second fan, which you can then just run off a Molex, really. So yeah, that's something to pick on. Great. So yeah, if you like the video, like it. If you dislike the video, dislike it. And yeah, leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much for watching.